Yo, yo, what's good, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
I think we should be good now. Hey, Masaka Brothers, animated wallpaper, let's go. Let's go. All right, y'all can hear us and everything. We try something new with
Okay.
the starting screen. That'll improve over time, of course. Don's in chat. Oh, look at Bleh. I haven't talked to you in a minute, even though you're in that group chat. Angry Demon Noises, Zoni, Seben, Teresa. Teresa from marketing. That's a very important context. What's up, Dice?
Yeah, we got Mar Sieben.
Oh, yeah, I see
What's
Mar
going on,
in
dude?
there. Hey, I'm coolin', man. Good afternoon, Zoni. Good vibes in here. Appreciate everyone pulling up. We'll give it a second before we kind of like touch base on 124. Natsuki had a brother. No, I think it's Ibiki who has the brother.
Hold on. Speaking of Natsuki, yo Zoni, this is for you. Watching ReZero season 4. Shit is pee.
Oh, Natsuki Subaru, that's his name?
Yeah, that's his name. That's his name. What's going on, chat?
Hey, Sully, legendary thumbnail. You like that, huh? Hey, yo, me and Dice are down. If y'all want to send some, y'all want to send y'all sword pics, send them to Dice's DM.
Oh no, not mine. Not mine.
It's his DMs are always open for sword pics.
Not true.
I mean, mine's
listen to
are.
him, y'all.
Like I got
There you go,
Lulu. I got Lulu getting ready to send me a sword pic tomorrow.
Oh, is that so?
Yep.
That's the type of relationship you have with our viewers?
Hey, get it how you live. That's I'm a little sick today. I'm a little stuffy, so if I sound congested or whatever, enjoy that raspy sound in Tiberius.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this voice better, actually.
Oh, okay. So now we could do the R&B collab album.
I ain't say that.
Man, Dice be playing hard to get, y'all. Ibiki has done nothing wrong, and y'all are already like cooking him. Leave him alone.
Oh yeah, we're dropping slander today.
Yeah, Dice has a important slander to drop. But we'll get into that.
Slander today. Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Like I know I'm like to blame for the Ibiki slander. But sometimes it's just like man, he did nothing wrong. Like there was one stream, I think, or it might have been an episode. Ibiki wasn't even mentioned. I didn't even glaze him. He's just getting cooked. I was like in the comments. I'm like, oh my guy.
Yeah, well, chat knows what's up, right? Our listeners, they know
Oh shit.
Yo.
Hey, starting off. Oh yeah, by the way, yesterday was Dice's birthday, y'all. So happy birthday to my boy Dice. He's now, how old are you, Dice? 38?
We're like on the same wave, huh?
Oh damn, now. But let's see, Junior Morpheus donated 20. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Much love to both you guys, but especially Tiberius today. Yeah, fuck Dice. Love you, brother. Mad respect for the stream today. Y'all get me through some hard days. I know the community's here for you. I really appreciate that. Because I'm such a good guy, like a great guy, some would say, we're going to pretend half of that donation's for Dice's birthday, unfortunately. And the other half is shout out to me. But no.
I appreciate the kindness, and I appreciate everybody saying happy birthday in chat. That means a lot. But Junior Morpheus, you're absolutely goated for that super chat, for the message in general.
Yeah, you about to get a sword pick.
I'm about to get a sword. Oh, he's about to get a sword.
He's about to get it. Don says asking if you want a sword pick.
If you want to pick all that.
Hey,
Appreciate you
yeah, now,
guys.
but thanks everybody, Junior. Like, we really appreciate that. Me
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Dice. You know, every sometimes it's harder to kind of make content than other days, but I mean, honestly, the community is so great that y'all really like help us kind of lift our spirits up. So appreciate y'all.
1,000%.
And now we're gonna stop glazing
Thousand
y'all
percent.
because y'all getting too much glaze. And y'all know when I glaze someone too much, that's when they start to get cooked. And if the chat turns on itself, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's
It'd
about
be
to
like
get
that.
double sword pick. Ooh, the akimbo swords, the double dagger pick. Okay.
Oh shit.
Yo, Lulu, you got.
Oh shit.
I told you Lulu was gonna send me a pic tomorrow. A community of unks. That's what we are. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's what's
finding
up.
out. And we got nephews and nieces.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with it. I'm
Oh,
with
and
it.
Angry Demon Noises. To answer your question, he asked before the stream started. He was talking.
Mm.
He asked, "Is there enough time for Chiaki to get pregnant twice?" And here's the crazy part, right? She
Yeah.
would have to give birth, like she would have to conceive the child
Now.
right now, and then then there would be just enough time, I believe, for her to have another kid. Now,
Yeah.
with Chihiro going to see Chiaki, if he's the one that gets it in now, then that would mean Chihiro that wasn't born like a month before the war ended. He would have been born in the middle. So I still don't think she's gonna even touch foot on Shikoku or see the Mikaboshi King.
Agreed. 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 I mean, I can't imagine the community if if that happens.
Now, see, one I went to, oh yeah, Mar said, "We the unction." That's brilliant. And Sully, he
Yeah.
says, "What if she had twins, and that would be Hirohiko? Like if
Oh my
here
god.
and he just got because of circumstances they sent him off or something, and because I've always said like Hirohiko is like a mirror of Chihiro, where
Yeah.
Hirohiko could have been Chihiro if he had a father in his life like Kunishige, and that would be like that context would be even like deeper if the fact of his dad was Kunishige, but like the circumstances of the birth and just the ramifications of it, they tried to like play it off like he wasn't even born, or he wasn't even he doesn't exist basically. And so that would be really
Yeah.
really like damaging to Kunishige's uh perception. Soy L, Mr. Guapo, what's good, what's good? Arian, yeah, Arian, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with that.
Chat's already wilding because Junior says, "I want to see those enchanted blade tips touching."
Hey, that's the truest realm, boy, the true and real realm.
Uh, that's funny.
It's like synchronized deeper, they say. Anyway, enough susness. Let's talk about
Enough.
124.
Let's
So,
talk about 124.
you were basically pretty spot on last chapter, talking about the Enchanted Blade plan and all that. So, you know, let's see if you can go 2 for 2. I mean, I think this one's a little bit more straightforward in terms of where we're going to start, but with Hokozona, you never know.
Yeah, I don't even know if I agree with that. Is it really that straightforward?
Well, I do feel like Chihiro will talk to Chiaki in person next chapter. I guess I mean more so in that
Yeah.
sense. But
Yeah, okay. That's what you think the chapter starting with?
yeah, I mean starting with that's tough. I'll say yeah. Um, like kind of I just don't know how deep Hokuzono is going to go on this conversation. Like when are they going to get their hands on Datanseki? I mean, of course Shiba's the perfect person to like steal, and he has the motive. Shiba definitely has the motive for wanting the enchanted, like trusting Kunishige, his best, his homie. If he's trusts his homie enough, and he disagrees with the Kamunabi, like he has the motive to like basically take the Datanseki and just prove them wrong with one blade, and they'll see, and he'll just like, Shiba does give off those type of vibes of he like, do something and then ask for forgiveness later. Just take the bullshit.
Yeah, I wonder how things are looking on Hiroshima right now, right?
Oh, they
Because that's where
chilling.
who,
They got their
who
scorpions out. Their death laser scorpions. They crip
right,
walking. But no,
right.
I get what you mean. Like, what's this like urgency on that island? Like, how are they preparing? I wonder if we will see that. That's actually interesting, Dice.
Yeah, because I mean, we're talking about like going getting Datsun Seki, and Hiroshima is the piece of land between uh mainland Japan, uh, and Shikoku. So I'm just kind of thinking after the events of the battle on Hiroshima is like, have the Mikaboshi kind of taken over that territory. It would make sense if they did,
Oh
which
yeah,
means that Japan wouldn't really have access to Datsun Seki. Um, so I mean, they were already kind of like hanging around and distracting them. So
yeah. With Shiba just being his ability just kind of allows him to finesse a bit. Like I wonder if he just steals the Datanseki straight from the Kabunabi. Like he just takes their source, you know? Because like if he goes to Hiroshima, it'll only intensify and just ruin the truce. So I don't know if he'll do that. And like Chat's bringing up a good point with Akamura. That is a very good point. I'm thinking like the chapter will end with Akamura, and he's about to be pissed because we're gonna see his like reaction to them giving up Chiaki, because he doesn't care about the Soga princess. He cares about Chiaki, just like Chihiro.
just like Kunishige, you keep saying Chihiro.
I know
I'm
what
not
I
sure.
do, bro. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm slow.
Nah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Yeah, I think that's solid. I could definitely see next chapter kind of focusing on the conversation between Chiaki and Kunishige, and then by the end, we see how Akamura's feeling. It would be interesting if we get a similar panel to how we get of Kunishige in 123 at the end, you know, but of Akamura.
Hmm.
I think that would kind of start to paint a pretty interesting picture, and kind of lead up to these guys becoming each other's most trusted allies.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I can see
what's
that
that
for sure.
conversation?
Oh my goodness gracious, Jelly.
Oh, what, Jelly? Aren't you supposed to be sleeping, bro?
Yeah, man. Oh, his neighbor's drilling,
His neighbor,
drilling his old
his neighbor,
lady or something. He said.
old lady. His
Uh,
neighbor got him fucked up.
let's see. Happy 35th birthday to Dice. May you age like fine wine, you little rock star. Tiberius, poke him with your enchanted blade for me. I'll poke him twice. Man, y'all are too goated. Y'all got me in my feelings.
I love you guys. Jello, I appreciate that, brother.
Man, enchanted
I
blade
hope.
gooning is crazy, but it's happening right now.
Yeah, it's chat, right? That's our community.
Now we really appreciate y'all. Good looking out, love y'all.
Yeah. Thanks,
Uh,
bro.
except not the Ibiki slanderers. Y'all could eat butt like Dice.
Oh, no.
Uh,
Oh no.
uh, 1 second. Entertain him for me, Dice. I gotta go check something.
It's all good, brother. Um, yo, you there, time?
Yeah. I had to, someone was at the door.
Okay. It's just your mic never got muted, so you good?
Oh, my mic didn't get muted. Oh well. Oh,
No,
I muted the stream, but
it's all
bro,
good.
it's been a hell. I have had a tough 2 weeks. What's good? 2007. I just do not know how to refer to you.
MZX. Oh, that's from the Discord server. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Meg. Yeah,
Megastar
yeah.
K.
Okay, yeah. What's up, goat?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Kunishige and Akamura are basically the only people riding for Chiaki, the person, and not the Soga princess at this current time. I mean, like Ichiki saying like, "Oh, I'm not down for that." His little ass ain't doing shit though. Um,
Yeah.
but like first, before we kind of get into like maybe more of the like details of like how the talks are gonna go between Kunishige and Chiaki, Dice, you were telling me about some slander that you want to spread about a certain character that's getting a little bit too much glaze.
So should I do this now?
Do it now. Just let it rip. Say it with
Okay,
your
man.
chest.
Oh look, Ukizane does not deserve the glaze. Okay, I'm just gonna say that Ukizane does not deserve the
Call him
glaze. And look, I
Pukizane.
get it.
Pukizane.
Look, I get it. Hiroto ain't, he didn't sink no island. I see people in the Discord server calling him pothole man. That's funny. It's all good. I'm not here to defend Hiroto, but I'm definitely not. I don't support the Ukizane slander. I mean the Ukizane glaze. I'm here to drop some Ukizane slander. I mean, this guy slaughtered a whole clan while they weren't even fighting back. I'm just gonna push that agenda. I mean, these guys were praying, and he just slaughtered them all. And then he sunk an island, which, as far as I know, like could be, I don't know, like not even a fourth of the size of Hiroshima. And he's getting glazed for that. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
impressive.
sorry. I'm not. It's I'm not impressed.
Hey, look. I'm not fucking with the action, but the outcome, like that's a pretty crazy feat. But I get what you're saying, like, and plus, I mean, we don't know homie like that. At least we know Hiroto, like that he's the homie. Even if he has his little
And I'm not
cute little
even.
potholes, y'all leave him alone about his cute little potholes.
I'm not even glazing Hiroto. Like, it's whatever. He got enough glazed by the mangaka himself. Like, yeah, whatever. But Ukizane, like, really, we're going off by like
One
two
statement.
ukiyo-e paintings and a statement
Yeah,
and propaganda. Like, oh, get the fuck out of here, man.
Jesus, Jello again with the 5. Thank you, brother. Ukazane is the Soga your girlfriend told you not to worry about. Oh my god. Pukazane. He looks like a soy boy.
Oh man,
I'm glad we got alerts working too, by
nah,
the
man,
way. The chat's lit now.
that's what's up.
About to twerk on a
But yeah, I'm
handstand.
not. I'm not fucking with Ukizane like that. Y'all
Well,
can,
good news, he
y'all can
died.
go glaze.
Like, at least, he's dead at least. Like, I like to glaze the dead men of Kagurabachi. Dice just likes to throw more dirt
Mhm.
on him, push him down 2 more feet.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it, And Sieben knows what's up. Ukizane propaganda merchant,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's fair. Like,
exactly. Y'all out here glazing fucking propaganda.
it's funny in my latest video, I did put Ukazane as like the #1 best like potential enchanted blade
Yes,
wielder.
you
That's so funny.
did. You did. I completely forgot about that. That's a good video too, by the way. Except the Ukizane part.
It's like, yeah, low key I wanted to put Iso Shirikai first.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Itsu is
Look at La. He says he's got 4 letters in common with Kazane, therefore he's a bum. Close enough, and you right,
there
Cook.
we go. There we go.
But Demon Monster did get a mention, like 2 chapters ago, and but they didn't bring that shit back up. But they brought up fucking Flamebone. Kaichi was not mentioned
Yeah.
in this chapter, in the last chapter, but Flamebone, they're like, yeah, that's the legit shit. That Kaichi shit, it's cute, but he's like the Kashimo of Kagurabachi. But Kashimo had more R, even though he was a bum.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because that's the reason why they said that they couldn't rely on Kaichi, right?
Yeah, because it's like a one-use thing. See how people talk about like Flamebone. I think it's like that's how Kaichi is. It's like you throw it out there, you use it, and then you get one chance, and it probably kills the user because it probably like changes their body, their chemistry, and all that to like actually turn into a monster or something. You know, who knows? But
Yo, UM is saying Hiroto will be a Yori victim in 30 chapters.
oh, who
Yeah,
said that?
that's crazy.
All right, y'all.
Uh,
Now the Iori glaze is like the craziest to me. Like, cause I'm not saying she would be bad, but they were saying she should be top 3 on my video. I got comments saying she should be top 3. Oh, Junior Morpheus, 5 gifted subs. Go, my goodness, man, you will have a you know, a fair maiden in your bed waiting on you. Or maybe me. Who knows?
Hopefully it's the former, Junior. Hopefully.
I had
But I
Itsuo. Oh,
appreciate that.
pretty sure T put Ikura as #1 in the video. Ikura is like the enchanted water boy. See, look, Mar. I know me and Mar don't agree on this shit, but like, he like not too much on Iori. I respect that, but he said top 3 is crazy glaze, factual. Like, that is just.
Yeah.
I mean, Isuo, Shirikai, Hiroto. You know, you give Ukazane, Yoshinojo, like. Oh, Junior. Junior's getting. He's getting the sheath too. But yeah, that's crazy slander coming from Dice though, y'all. Like I've never seen Dice just like randomly slander a character until today.
I'm just not with it, bro. I'm not with it. The insane glaze for a guy that's showed up in what, 2 panels, maybe 3.
Oh yeah, I can't lie though. That panel when him with we see like the island actually going underwater and he's in the air with the black spear behind him is kind of hard.
Oh yeah, it's kind of hard. Fuck out of here with that type of race.
I mean, hey, if you look, let's pick. We're gonna pixel scale. We're about to pixel scale that island.
I'm telling you, man, that island wasn't bigger than a block. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, that's impressive.
The last of the Mikaboshi.
Let's see. Junior says,
yeah.
Hey, I mean, I had him 4th. I think that's pretty good. Junior says traveling for work, but my wife would be jealous. Hey, I get that. I got a wife too, but I think she'd be pimping me out sometimes. Mars says, like, I'm not even joking. Kiri probably put Iori in a pack. Interesting. See, now now imagine Chihiro forging in the present time an enchanted Odachi. Someone commented that. I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, see, Mar, that's how I feel. Hiroto with an EB would bare minimum be like Samura level. Yeah, that's his like base, like with the enchanted blade, because, or I should say, that's his like floor, and his ceiling's so high because Kuratsuchi like awakens in a Soga clan male, when they have like the uppermost like limits to their body, their physicals. They basically achieve the greatest heights physically, and we find out, like, I think it was back in Rakuzaichi, they said, it like there's something that goes on with your body in terms of like using sorcery. Like your body's kind of like the conduit, so like a strong body yields like strong sorcery. I forget how it was phrased. Yeah, and then like Kuratsuchi directly says you have to have the strong physicals in order to awaken this. So like he's literally got to be top 3. And Itsuo Shirikai, I put him at number 2.
Yeah, it's even without Kuratsuchi Hiroto, just with his physicals alone, give him an EB. He's a demon.
Oh yeah,
arguably more of a demon than Ukizane.
And he's a baddie. Can't forget that. I bet Dice would glaze the F out of Ukazane if he looked like Hiroto. Probably. Dice is like that.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Maybe.
MMZ said, and I haven't told you this, but there's an anime that my dad convinced me to watch when I was in the realm of an anime marathon. And the anime I tell you is Samurai Champloo. It's a very goat anime. Samurai Champloo is goated. I've seen it twice. Mugen's my guy. Very fun. It's got one of the dopest soundtracks. Fire, fire. You ever seen that, Dice?
Nice. No, I haven't. You know, I haven't.
Oh yeah, Dice is a LARPer. We need to get him on some more anime. Oh, speaking of, I want to get back to 124, but before I do, we're eventually going to do like a little watch party, like an anime movie in the Discord server, sometime soon. So if you're not a member of the Discord, the link, I can put the link in chat. It's also in the descriptions. But y'all come through and join and kick it with us.
Yeah, and I see also Swaggy P2496, one of the, he just got gifted membership from Junior. So shout out to you, Swaggy P. Go check out some of the members only content. Well, actually, yeah, it's just the Soga's Kamunabi video. The most recent members' first content just became available to everybody to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, stay tuned for more members only and members first content. And just in case, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I say we got Redux Volume 3 dropping in the next week or two.
Yeah, correct. But Tamar and Angry Demon Noises, I'm not doing no Hiroto downplay. Hiroto's cool as fuck. I'm slandering Ukizane here.
Oh, I love the name Swaggy P. Shout out to Nick Young.
Yeah, shout out Nick Young.
Why you didn't put Tamaki Sazanami as a potential EB builder? My bad, Dice. I just saw Tamaki. I'm like, oh my god, not more Tamaki Glaze.
No, it's all right. I just wanted to shout out Angry Demon Noises again because he's cooking. Ukizani didn't even have to face Seki. Exactly. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like I said, we'll just call him Pukazane. I think that's a good slander name. Watch Yu Yu Hakusho, Dice. I stand by that. I'll die on that hill with KJ. Like, Yusuke is like the gold standard of shonen main characters.
Yeah, I might have to. I know Yu Yu Hakusho set the trend of the tournament arc, right?
Yeah, the Dark Tournament is like the best tournament arc in anime, and World Trigger is like got the B rank wars, which is like the second best. But gotta watch Dark Tournament.
Yeah, I'll check it out at some point.
Let's get back to the chapter though. Who do you think is going to be more upset about the news with Chiaki, Akamura or Kunishige?
I can't pick one.
I'm gonna ask chat who they think who's going to be more pissed.
I can't pick one. Honestly, I think this is really just the main reason they're going to bond, and become, like I said, become each other's most trusted allies. I think like I've previously talked about, I think this idea of them being each other's most trusted allies, or Akamura being Kunishige's most trusted allies, originally I thought stemmed from, this sense of nationalism, patriotism, protecting their country as, respective figures, right? One is the sword saint, the other one is this very respected swordsmith. But the way the Seitei War has been framed right now, Kunishige isn't who we thought he was, at least at this point. And, Chiaki being at the center of it all, I think is really going to be the main reason why Akamura and Kunishige, go all out in terms of the things that they end up doing in this war.
Mm-hmm. And like, you remember I made that why the Magasumi was crafted first video, and a lot of people said like, oh, Kunishige wouldn't craft a sword out of like specifically for war, like basically taking lives. Like Kunishige wouldn't craft something like that. And I get what they're coming from, but like when I made that video, my thoughts on it were that like Shiba's reaction or his testimony and his reaction to what happened was going to basically ignite, like spark Kunishige having to craft something strong enough to deal with that, and that ended up turning out to be too strong. So it's like his first one, he just like cooked. He didn't put no limiters. But then like that experience made him realize like, oh, now I need to limit them a bit. Like put like certain functions or specifics intent on each sword. So like, excuse me. But like now that we know what they're trying to do with Chiaki and what the Mikaboshi King wants to do with Chiaki, that just further enhances him like wanting to really like make a sword to like basically end the dilemma.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I had to cough.
No, it's all good.
But like, I'm hoping we do get to see like the sword, the first enchanted blade being crafted, like soon. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is going to be soon. You want to see what chat says, or you got any opinions on that?
In terms of when the enchanted blades are going to be crafted, I think Brazil, Bachi Brazil from Twitter, I think he brought up a good theory about like whether the whole enchanted forging of the enchanted blades ends up being something that is done kind of in secret, not approved by the Sorcery Bureau, and it's something that the Sorcery Bureau ends up taking credit for after the war. I thought that was a pretty neat theory, not one that I necessarily support at the moment, but I am kind of like, I would entertain it because I think it's something that kind of thematically, it would fit in terms of of uh these government entities just kind of being shady and ultimately taking credit where they shouldn't or where they don't deserve it. And with how they've been moving so far, I can kind of see that being a possibility. But I just want to because I thought it's pretty cool and pretty plausible.
Yeah, those government entities. My bad. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm sorry. I just want to say that like if that's the way it goes down, I could see kind of the enchanted blades being forged pretty soon.
Yeah, and like what's up, Lucas? Lucas popped in here. Macy Pass says Dice hasn't read shit, bro only saw Kagurabachi JJK. Hey, he's also saw Code Geass and Attack on Titan, but that's it. Slat, he's what's good, homie? He says Shiba steals the Datanseki and gives it to Kunishige, and he works on the swords in secret. Yeah, that's where I'm at on it too. Kunishige only has to craft one enchanted blade, and it will change the opinions of or it should change the opinions of the Sorcery Bureau. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't think he's gonna present all 6 of them right away to them. I think he's like one of them, and he's gonna be like, oh, he could do it. Like, let's trust him.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people, and I think I agree with this. If it isn't the Magatsumi, I think Subaru's blade would be the first one forged, and he would kind of be like the perfect guy to, hold like wield an enchanted blade for like a presentation for the sword.
Yeah, he has influence.
Yeah, and he knows what he's doing in terms of like how spirit energy is channeled within a katana. So yeah.
Let's see. Lulu says put you on Katekyo Hitman Reborn. I still need to watch that one myself. Yeah, like it's interesting because depending on how they move, like in terms of like if Shiba decides to go to Shiba, Akamura, and Kunishige are kind of like their own unit. They're moving in secret. They're making moves. Like I think Akamura is kind of like this big hinge piece on this entire arc. Like we're waiting to see that veil drop and see that first instance of like, yep, that's the eyes of someone that would do genocide, and like it could be this chapter where we see like Akamura crash out.
Yeah, I'm with the whole Akamura thing. I'm kind of torn because obviously I know that it's his sister, and I know that I know he's gonna be mad as fuck, and I know we're gonna see that. But because we haven't really seen him interact a lot with the clan, we only saw him sparring that one time and like that exchange with his sister. We haven't seen, I mean, in Chiaki, the same thing, right? But we know how the Soga clan feels about her and these minor branch families. With Akamura, I'm interested in seeing how he feels about the Soga clan. Um and yeah, I don't think that specifically is going to make much of a difference in terms of him being obviously really upset about what they're planning with his sister. But because of all these theories about him, wiping out the Soga clan, I kind of just first want to see how how that dynamic is. How is Akamura seen within the Soga clan, and how does he see um the rest of the clan itself?
Hmm. Like,
Um,
does he get in? Is he indoctrinated to put the clan first, or because like we know he wants to protect his sister, sure, but if they're saying like this is what saves Japan, like what percentage is he gonna value one or the other? Like is Chiaki just gonna win outright because like we saw him one time say he wants to protect his sister. We never seen his thoughts on like what if Japan is in trouble. You know what I mean? We never really got the scale between the two. But so this like the weight of that decision, how Akamura sees the Soga clan is going to be interesting because now those like crazy like wild dark theories about Akamura killing his own clan, a month ago, they now get more. They're more viable now. Not saying he will or he won't, but just the fact of like there's a conversation to be had.
1,000%. And like, even if right now I'm not on that boat yet in terms of Akamura having, massacred the Soga clan, it is something that, like I said in the most recent episode, I think that most recent chapter kind of brings us closer to that being a reality because it, would line up with the kind of guy that we know, he is in terms of what he's willing to do. And I think there is an interesting premise in him wiping out both the Mikaboshi and the Soga clans and kind of, we've talked about like the cycle of violence. And I think it would be very interesting to where like Akamura ends that cycle in like the most fucked up way possible by just wiping out both clans. I think there's something very interesting in terms of, for the narrative and character wise, there. But like you just said, how does he value kind of the Soga clan, and how does like he, in terms of putting it on a balance, like his sister and the rest of the clan, how indoctrinated is he really? Um, we've from what we've seen of Akamura, let's go before the Seitei War arc, we saw that interaction with Samura. We know how he feels about evildoers, which by the way, that flashback is before the Seitei War. So it's very interesting that we've gotten kind of like very contrasting images of Akamura during this time. Like when we see him sparring, he looks like one way, and in that interaction with Samura, as he's actually cutting down um
Mm-hmm.
these
Stoic.
evildoers, he's just got a completely different demeanor, which obviously makes a lot of sense and also speaks to how these sword bearers, like the kind of stuff they had to deal with and how they had to just kind of like suppress their emotions to do their duty. um so that being said, like that's kind of what has me like wondering, like, would he then see the Soga clan as evildoers? Like, would that be how he justifies what he does if he does massacre them all? Because with Akamura, like I think everything is rooted in his ideals, right? Like I think we've talked about it to death about like, oh, it's not just about revenge. It's not just that he's mad and he just lashes out and goes crazy. With Akamura, I think everything is rooted in his beliefs, in his ideals, and I think his actions, um, are stemmed from that. Whatever he does, he has a justification for doing it, rooted in his beliefs, in his worldview. Maybe there's an exception in terms of him actually having wiped out the Soga clan. Maybe he just did that because he was mad as fuck, and like, hey, fair. But because of what we know about him and what we've seen from him, that's kind of what I'm looking for now. um so yeah, I'm interested in seeing him argue with the Soga clan. Obviously, I think he'll try to, fight back, and that's just what I'm looking towards.
Yeah, facts. We know that clan like dynamics in anime and manga. I mean, shit, even real life, if you really dig into it, they're toxic. It's all about the gains and bloodline, right? We know Chiaki
Mhm.
isn't from like the main lineage, so they're not even like considering the possibilities, right? Of this like going south. They're already like putting their stocks in the future of that 6 month old baby that was just born. And they're relying, by the way, on a 6 month old Hiyuki, nuke to drop a baby on the island and let it like cook the whole island or some shit, which is insane, by the
Yeah,
way. But like the fact of like Chiaki's like the Soga princess is so important, right? So important to like the world, like well to Japan, excuse me. Yet she's still just a pawn for the Soga. The main lineage is gonna get back on top. So that's fucked up. And then I do think there's a possible parallel between Aryu and Chiaki. They both care about their clan, the people in their clan, the people that they protect, and their like role, their station in life. But they're also like being used by their parents or like by the clan basically. Like, and I could see Aryu getting some characterization later to kind of parallel that. I mean, I know
interesting.
it's kind of a hard like sell right now, and I get that because he just pulled out a like I say a death laser scorpion, basically, and Kit just cooked three of our people. But the I do think there's a parallel because like the king was the one talking crazy. Aryu was just saying like our people did this. He wants to get it back for his people, right? The king's over there, but wait, hold on. Don't forget, I'm trying to crack the Soga princess. I want to put a baby in that.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all. Like what you're saying about the parallels between Chiaki and Airyu. I can definitely see that. I mean, I think there's already parallels between Airyu and Akamura, but there's no reason why there can't be more than one parallel to more than one character. And I think it would be pretty fitting because, you know, I, as well as yourself and a lot of people, we believe and are looking forward to Akamura and Airyu eventually having some sort of showdown. It would be interesting to see Airyu parallel Chiaki in many ways. And obviously Akamura, he's in grand, like in large part, he's doing what he's doing for Chiaki, and going up against a guy that parallels Chiaki, I think would be very interesting, and would make a lot of sense for the story. And I would be interested in seeing if Akamura would be kind of like aware of those certain parallels, you know?
Maybe when they
Um
fight, he sees Chiaki in him or something like that. Like he
yeah,
kind
no,
of
exactly. Yeah.
like mimic. And Dice hasn't seen Bleach, but almost kind of like Ukiura and Orihime. Like for the people that seen Bleach, how like they have a conversation and they kind of like she changes his like perspective. It's been a while since I've seen Bleach, but imagine Aryu having a type of role in a story like that. Ukiura.
I think quote Lucas is also cooking in chat. He says Chiaki and Airyu conversation needs to happen. I would I would really like to see that as well. Honestly, I think it just depends on how Hokuzono decides to characterize Airyu, because though I do think that you might be onto something. We just really haven't seen enough, you
For
know?
sure.
And Aryu can be characterized entirely different, right? And they could kind of put all this to bed real quick. But if there is kind of something to what you're saying, and I agree, um, I would be very interested in seeing a conversation between Aryu and Chiaki and see that kind of like back and forth. That's where we can really, um, I think that's where we can really see those similarities and parallels in the sense because I see UM also saying that there's zero parallels between them, and I guess I understand why they might feel that way. They say there's a reason Nakamura packed this guy up because these two had different beliefs, and like yeah, that's no, nobody's arguing
Yeah,
against that,
it
right?
could be equal but
The parallel
opposite.
Exactly. And the parallels we're talking about is also like in terms of the situation and the circumstances at hand about how they're both nothing more than pawns for their respective clans. At least we know that's what Chiaki is. What I'm saying is with Arya, we have kind of like yet to see. Um, and ultimately kind of being used for the agenda of their clans. So a conversation between Chiaki and Aryu, I think, would bring all of that kind of like to the forefront. And I think that would, narratively
Yeah.
speaking, I think that would be great.
Like imagine Aryu and Chiaki talking, and then they're like arguing with each other about like defending their people, and what's the right way, and why I do this and why I do that, and then that's when Akamura pulls up to save her, and like I could just see I could just see it in my head, and it would be so fire. And Armchair, yeah, he needs that Datsenseki Viagra. And I do think Chiaki's cooked. I don't think Chiaki's making out of this arc. Dice, I believe you believe that as well.
Yes,
She's
yes.
cooked.
I it's what I think, but again, I think the last chapter has kind of like opened the door for so many theories. Yura as well. Uh, there's kind of like a lot to speculate on, but yeah, if I had to kind of say, I do still believe Chiaki's getting packed up. And I see somebody bring this up in chat as well. La R9Q is the new Soga baby alive. I think that's also like a big
Interesting.
mystery and could be a potential connection to Yura in terms of like this whole prophecy thing. So what do you think? I said let's pivot to that. What do you think about this Soga, new Soga baby, mainline Soga?
Yeah, that's interesting.
And
That was one of the big takeaways from the chapters. Like, where is that child at? Like, it, and if that child is still around, obviously, who can it be? And to be honest with you, I'm stumped on that one. That is one new reveal that just kind of makes me like I just don't have a theory on it. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that I think the baby might get cooked before the arc ends. Like the Soga just completely get wiped out, like an eye for an eye. Leaves the whole world blind. Been saying it for a couple weeks, but this
Mhm.
war is a Soga versus Mikaboshi war. Now, of course, Japan's getting brought into it, so them both getting wiped out because it's their war would make sense as well. And but I did want to say something. Angry Demon always talked about like Chiaki's final prophecy, and I said this in our last episode with Polar Stone. Check it out, our longest episode, banger one. But
Yep.
like Chiaki's final vision, her final prophecy is going to be seeing Chihiro, but she can only see his back because we get those shots of like Yura's back, we get the shot of Kunishige's back, but she's going to see
Back
Chihiro's
shots. Yep.
back. Yeah, back shots, always back shots. But like he's kind of like basking in like light, and she's like I don't know who it is, but he has the same warmth as Kunishige, and then that's her like last sentence before she gets cooked. Like that would resonate so hard with me. Like she's seeing her son like the hero. But then it also is like reflective on Chihiro's personal view of himself where he sees him on his way to hell. Like that's what I like about the story.
Oh,
You
I like
know,
that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Um, and I saw somebody else in chat kind of like theorizing of something similar about Chiaki seeing like a vision of present day. I think that would I I could 100% see that happening. I think it's actually like pretty likely. Like it would be really fitting, and knowing Hokazono, how he kind of tends to lean towards certain tropes that are a bit predictable, but also work for the story and make a lot
execute
of
it really
sense.
well. My bad for cutting you
Yeah,
off.
no, you're good. Like he's not afraid of kind of leaning on pretty common tropes, but like you said, like he executes them very well, and ultimately it ends up like adding to the story. I am seeing a bit of conversation in chat in terms of this mainline Soga baby, and yeah, guys, this Soga baby would be no older, or if anything, just a couple of months older, maybe a year older than Chihiro. So it's not Yura's wife, okay? Um, so yeah, it could potentially be a newly introduced character in present day. You know, another contemporary of Chihiro's. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Lucas, yeah, I just meant like because as she's dying out, it's kind of like a blurry vision. She don't get the full picture. She just kind of sees, but she kind of like gets it, you know, understands. But like if Ryu does become like a Ukiura esque type of villain, y'all heard it here first. Put it on Dice's Soul. It's been a while since we did that. Yeah, I mean the baby thing is
uh,
very interesting. I mean it's so funny how like in one chapter we're getting a 6 month old Hiyuki. You know, is their plan? You know, she's there or
yeah,
she's in the womb for 6 months already. Or I forget what they say. Um, but like a 6 month old like Hiyuki baby is their plan for Flamebone. Then you got a 6 month old Soga baby that is like their the main lineage, you know, the main branch is like, all right, this is how we're gonna get back in power. It's so funny how they did baby. It's just a baby eccentric chapter.
yeah, that's a good point. And to respond to in chat saying Dice, it's Akamura's daughter. I'm calling it now. I don't think so.
You know, because he's
It's
not a part of the main branch. He got
yeah,
that
it's a
old
main
dirty
branch.
dick. Never mind.
Yeah, it's likely me and Tiberius were actually talking about this. It's likely another child of whoever the I don't want to say head because we don't really know how the hierarchy
So
works
no
of that
head.
clan. So no head. uh, but I think it's just the the child of whatever main branch Soga male is on top or whatever, you know. Um, yeah, and
Oh
I
wait,
think he just
what I say, Slide? I said a lot of bullshit, so I don't know which one's the what. That's Hiroto's baby.
Hiroto's baby.
Because think about it,
I
he has
mean, yeah,
Kuretsuchi. We know how he's viewed. That could be, you know, Hiroto's baby. Because
yeah,
like
that could be
the
very much
time,
Hiroto's baby.
it'd be easy like you know connection. Um, that I think that's my guess for the baby, but I don't know who you know who's the mother is. You know, I don't know what like the circumstances are gonna be going forward with that. Like Chiaki is still the Soga princess, but she's really just a pawn. You know, so what's her
Yeah,
freedom
and like
gonna look like? Like, cause she is. If anything happens to her, like you know, like I said, if Kunishige puts a baby in her, that kind of ruins the truce.
yeah, but we have like no idea who Akamura's father is and what sort of status he has. You know,
Yeah,
we have
sure.
no idea who like the actual head of the clan is or what that looks
Do
like.
you think we're gonna meet him?
Um, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess so. I would think so. Like, why wouldn't we meet the head of the Soga clan? You know, I think so. You know, like the more I think about it, I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be Hiroto's baby. I think that would make some sense too.
Man, I'm sometimes I be cooking, you know. I think Like I forgot.
Sometimes.
Oh, I called Kazan was gonna pop up in the chapter, so I'm like 3 for 50. Look,
Mm.
feeling good, feeling great. Oh, I hope we have a Chiaki rescue arc. See, now I did say with my chest, I don't think Chiaki's gonna step foot on Shikoku. Uh, but I could definitely see them like actually getting their hands on her. Sending Aryu to go handle it, and before he gets to the island, that's when Akamura starts, throwing. Because we do know the Enchanted Blade Wielders step foot on Shikoku, and they say that's when they
Yeah,
wait. Raise the white flag. That's when the truce happens. So that has
yeah,
to mean all the Guardians got cooked for that to happen. Because I can see like they're not gonna let them sink that island. They're not gonna let them Ukazane the island.
definitely not.
Your favorite character Ukazane.
um, fuck, I had a question for you and I forgot. Yeah, let's just keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of speculation on the Enchanted Blades. I know like a lot of the statements in the series point to the Magatsumi being the last one crafted. I get that, and I don't hate on people who say otherwise. Um, but like I just think it's first. Tying the contracts because those Guardians aren't. They are not ones to fuck around with. So if they go out there with Enchanted Blades without having the contracts, like it'd be like easy for one of the Guardians to, you know, try to take it from them. And if they did take it from them, then they could use an Enchanted Blade as well. Like that would cook Japan then.
What I was gonna ask you was, what do you think? And I think this kind of, bleeds into the conversation of the next chapter and predicting what takes place in the next chapter. What do we think breaks the truce?
I mean, probably Kunishige busting a load, honestly. Like, I mean, the king wants to have her bear his child, but if Kunishige already reserved puts a bun in the oven, that ain't happening.
Yeah, but then again, think of the
But the war,
timeline.
yeah, the
How does?
war, because that was basically the middle of the war. That's the issue. But I mean, they just
Yeah,
said the war starts at that date. That like they could be considering the war has already started. They're not, but we didn't know about the truce. You know what I mean? I forget when does the war start. We know that it's on the timeline. I forget when they say it starts. Maybe September is when I think that's around the time Chihiro's conceived. But when did the war start? All right, let's see. Soya was born September 16th. We don't care about Soya. All right, late April,
is it
early
like
May.
Asia? Yeah, yeah, because it ended at the end. It ended in September.
And aren't we in March now? We're like March 22nd or 21st or something like that currently.
Yeah, it ended. Yeah,
So
we're in
the
March
truce could be
24th.
included in that 17 months. And then if that's the case, then Kunishige impregnating Chiaki, in like September or August, September, October, whatever month it is, then they find out somehow that breaks the truce, and then that's when they actually attack. Because remember, we were wondering how can Japan last that long against the Guardians? They're gonna cook us. How can we like hold off for until the Enchanted Blades are made? It would make sense that there was just no fighting in the beginning for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like something else. Like that's honestly, that's all very plausible. Or very likely even actually. I think I might be the one just going against the grain here because I think it would be insane for it to be like Kunishige who actually like he didn't start the war, but like ultimately he breaks the truce. So like, yeah, he could be responsible for like kickstarting the war all over again, and he's ultimately the one who ends it with his enchanted blades. So I think, for the narrative, it would make a lot of sense. The guilt he kind of like grapples with all those years later, everything makes sense. He might even kind of like feel bad because he thinks like he ended up kind of like, well, it's not like Chiaki's future was looking all that bright, anyways, but I'm sure he feels some sort of way, um, if he is to be held like, if he is responsible. But I don't know, man. Hmm, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
he would be the instigator to start the fighting, but he's also the problem solver for it as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But like, yeah, I don't know. So
I
what?
think
He,
the
he gets her
timeline
pregnant,
works.
and then
I think that in the
yeah, no,
timeline it works. Like, and I get what you're saying. Like, because I don't know if I'm fully sold on it, but just the way like we know 17 months, there was no way Japan was going to hold out if the Guardians and Shikoku like sent out their actual military force like right when it started. Japan wouldn't be able to hold out long enough.
yeah. So okay, so when do you think this happens then? So like, how do
Uh,
you know? I guess you know. Take the floor. Where how do you see it then like playing out?
Let me
When do
see.
you
Hold
think
on. Listen.
Chiaki gets pregnant, and when do you think the Mikaboshi would then find out?
Probably September, October, and there'll probably be a time. We'll probably get a time skip. Think about with
So,
Shiba there, it'd be Shiba, Akamura, and I'm not like this
but so
is.
what
I'm just kind of
happens in
crafting
the
this
next?
like on the spot
I
here.
know, I know, I know. I'm not trying to press you or nothing. I just, I'm just kind of like ping ponging like the idea with you, because then what happens for the next 5 months?
Well, I mean, as of the time, I mean, anything could happen. I mean, you could just see like the clan dynamics. The time skip happens, and it doesn't. Everything that happens there is arbitrary in a sense. Um,
No, but
yeah.
what I'm saying is, if you think she doesn't get, if you think she doesn't get handed over to the Mikaboshi, right, and you
Mhm.
think gets pregnant, let's say, like you said, like
September,
towards the
October
end
ish.
of the year. Yeah. So what happens for the next couple of months? I mean, they already demanded Chiaki. I don't think
But
they're just kind of like, oh, well, just hand her over where you when you want.
well, that's
Like
what
they're waiting
they
for
got
Chiaki.
a year truce. So I mean, why would they?
But what?
I don't
So
know.
wait,
Like, why would
you
they?
think Chiaki gets handed at the end of the truce?
Yeah. Like, why
Wait,
wouldn't the?
and
Because why wouldn't the Mikaboshi just? I mean, not the like end, but like, why wouldn't they just like demand her right now? Why would the truce happen? Why is there a year truce?
because I think that's the condition. I think the condition is that they hand over Chiaki and the Mikaboshi grants them a year of no fighting. I mean, but maybe I'm the one kind of like seeing it wrong. Maybe it is that the Mikaboshi first give them a year and then they hand over Chiaki. I think Hokazono has kept all of that pretty vague on purpose. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like I said, I'm just cooking this up on the spot, really. Like that's
No, I know, bro.
because
I get it. Yeah.
if the Mikaboshi were to attack, like how quick do you like? I mean, like what percentage of like chances does Japan have to like hold out? Like we know they get their shit pushed in a good bit. So
Well, I
like
mean, we
when
know
do
that
they
they hold
attack?
out,
So
but then
when
I
do they
know
attack?
as soon as the truce is broken, I think they attack. I think they attack soon. Honestly, I think the truce doesn't even go that far. I think the truce is broken fairly quickly. That's why I'm wondering, like, that's why I don't think that the truce is broken because Kunishiki just impregnates Chiaki. I think something goes down first. I just don't know what that is. You know. Um, but yeah, I think the truce gets broken fairly quickly.
That's fair. I could have been looking
That's
at it
kind
the
of like
wrong
my
way
stance.
myself. Um, the
The whole thing is just weird. Honestly, the whole thing is just weird. Like, because I even said this on the episode. Like, why the fuck would the Mikaboshi even grant them? Like, why the fuck would the Mikaboshi listen to conditions from Japan? We just waxed your strongest soldiers, and you're coming to us talking about, oh well, yeah, we'll give you the princess, but we got conditions. oh, fuck you mean conditions? Hand over the princess. You know, like I just the whole thing is a bit weird because I don't know why the fuck the Mikaboshi would even accept any sort of conditions. You know, like they just proved that they could dog walk all of Japan if they wanted. You know, so why
Yeah.
the fuck are they like even negotiating? You know, it just to me the whole thing is just it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so even the idea of like a 1 year truce where like Ari was already talking crazy about like these are our demands, this is what we want, and that's it. We will use force. And then, then they you turn around and it's like, okay, 1 year truce, yeah, okay, fine. Like what? I don't know. It's all a bit I'm sure Hokazono has some sort
Yeah.
of
I
reason
mean,
for
we
it.
do see like Chiaki has that vision of Ryu, and he's kind of like powered up, and you could tell like there's the other guardians are next to him in one of her visions like 2 chapters ago.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you brought that up, right? Like Chiaki foresaw there will be hell on earth,
Yes,
right?
you know
So
I think I'm mostly looking forward to the Guardians. Oh, what's up, Shiny?
Shiny, he's
Looking
good
forward
too.
to like the wielders going up against the Guardians. Like I do hope there's a variation in powers, like between the Guardians. Like something different. I mean, I'm sure their spirit manifestations are different, but
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I do want to see like, man, I can't lie. Are you being like an Ukiura esque villain? Just kind of like gets me hyped for some reason. I mean, you like if you seen Bleach or read Bleach Dice, you would love Ukiura. Layered. Let's see.
Yeah, I might have to start getting on some of these theories before I keep getting
Yo,
consumed by chat.
a couple people are saying you should start an anime review channel. That would be gas.
Yeah, I might just have to, right?
Um, let's see. Scott Boy says maybe they need to recharge. There could be something with their Datanseki usage.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Slat says I was thinking maybe the Mikaboshi are skilled enough to where they can impregnate Chiaki and then take the fetus out to grow, and then they give Chiaki back. Yeah, see that one's a little hard for me to grasp, but that we do know like they kind of invented like the spirit manifestations in a sense. I mean, I guess you call it flame bone, whatever it is. We don't know yet, but like that scorpion's our first like first time seeing that like that reveal of a spirit manifestation. So they might have the means to do some crazy, medical stuff. We don't know exactly what all the Mikaboshi, the original Mikaboshi king was capable of.
Yeah.
But it would be something if they do get like Hirohiko, like something like Slat was saying, and Hirohiko's the baby, and then they give her back, and then Chihiro gets conceived. That would be wild if they shared the same mother but different dads, half brothers, playing into that
Yeah, that would be
mirror.
wild.
Murasaki says Ukiura was so good. Facts. Slurping on bug juice. What's up, flavored beef? That's my favorite kind of beef.
What's good, beef? Steven says, guys, do you think, I assume, the Datanseki lore is going to be way deeper and more mythical rather than a magic or?
Nah, I think we're just about done with it, to be honest. Bambi, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
I agree. I would like to see a bit more lore, but I think, especially with that, that interview from Hokuzono, I think it's no secret that this is a pretty grounded story in terms of the the actual conflict. But I would be super down to get more lore on the Datanseki, 1,000%.
Yo, we was at 55 viewers. That's a new high for us. That's lit. Love to see it.
That's what's up.
Trip fell. Yeah, Hiyuki's birthday was retconned. Not a huge deal. Bambi's like, I mean, Aryu did allude to needing land to grow Datanseki. Maybe they're running low on the ore. That was my original theory of why the island popped up in the first place. But of course, we know like Hiroshima, getting, starting to get Datanseki kind of played a part in that. Excuse me. D the man, what's up, goat? I, I wonder if there are other spirits like Flamebone, and how are they enchanted blade level, and if they're connected to Datsenseki at all. It's just hella like interesting. Flamebone's place in the story. You know, like 400 years. It's been 400 years, which reminds me of a 10 Shadows user. Um, but 400 years since the last one, but they still hold like influence, and you know they're like an important clan. That's how impressive that one ability is, or that one thing from the clan. What do you mean, angry demon noises? I'm not sure if I get you.
Yeah, and Arion says, but Hirohiko has paper sorcery, like it doesn't look like anything the Soga or Mikaboshi would have. In my opinion, him being connected to anything like that is just a reach. I
I
agree,
agree.
Arion.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm
I
not
think we're just
saying.
having fun with the
Yeah,
Hirohiko theory.
yeah. Like that's what we do basically. We'll headcanon down a theory just to see where we end up. But I'll be honest on which ones I have stocks on and which ones I don't. You know, like that's not. I don't think Hirohiko's connected in any way to like that. But like I am wondering if we're gonna see that Sojo panel that you know everyone's been wondering about with the people in the air, like the bodies hanging above him and stuff.
Yeah, right. It's just there's so many things to this AT war now. I've completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, right. Because that was a big thing when we first got into the war, but then it's like so much craziness has happened that we don't even talk about the Sojo flashback panel.
Yeah. Angry demon noises. My opinion. I'll let Tiberius speak for himself, but I don't think the veins is bullshit at all. The veins in the blades. I think he was being real about that for sure.
I agree. Because I think that's going to be the thing that like Kunishige might just inherently do that, or like he might just know about it from whoever he learned from. I do wonder if we're going to find out who was his master for crafting the swords, but that I think that inclusion in the story, especially about the forging thing, I think that's what like Subaru's whole like role is in present time to teach Chihiro that one last step in forging that Kunishige may not have got to actually like show him because of he got killed.
Yeah.
All right, D the man, you about to be the first person banned.
Hell nah. Cooking. Cooked either, man. That's what's up.
They're saying like what if Datan Seki's like like the tooth of an ancient god or something like that. I don't think Hulk is that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that wouldn't be cool, but I think something like that just requires a lot of supplemental writing, and that's just gonna, and maybe it is the case. You never can be sure, but like I know a lot of people think that we might get a flashback and a flashback to go back 1,000 years and see Pukizane sink the island. And Dice kind of was bringing up good points, I think, 2 episodes ago on the podcast, or maybe 2 streams ago, about like he doesn't see, and maybe you've changed. I'll let you speak for yourself, but we're not going to get another flashback within the flashback. Hokuzono is basically just going to keep it where we're at.
Yeah, I don't think I still stand by that. The way it's looking, I don't think there's any reason to go back even further. I think we know what we need to know in terms of the origins. Maybe not the origins because we don't know exactly how it started, but I think that's the point. I don't think it really even matters. We know that it's gotten to this point, and we see the damage that both sides have done. Even the Soga clan, the damage that they're doing to their own, which, somebody like Chiaki, clearly they don't really see her as their own. So I think we know what we have to know in terms of the history of these clans, and it's all forward from here.
Thanks.
So yeah, I still stand by that.
Everybody's shitty. The Sorcery Burrow eats dick. Like, I said this on the episode. The Sorcery Burrow is so bad that they looked to what's his name? I forgot his name. The head guy on Kabanabi. I literally just said his name earlier in the stream. It's like on the tip of
Kazan.
Kazan. Yeah, like the
Yeah.
sorcery bird was so bad they looked to Kazan for the as the answer. Imagine that. Like, you know what I'm saying though? It's
Oh,
insane. Like yeah, Kazan's gonna change. He'll be the difference maker. That's literally like some U.S. politics.
oh God. Yo, indeed, the man. Don't even worry about it. Ukizani wasn't even block level. Okay, that was just a small ass island. But we not talk about that.
Yeah, he's an island boy. That's what we're gonna start calling him.
I
Hiyuki
was
can't
just
be
laying on
affected by
Ukizani.
Suzaku's flames. Does Hiyuki beat Samura? Probably. You know, like yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, she.
Slat, the speed is the thing, and the AI white purity style. You know, we just haven't seen enough of Hiyuki yet. You know what I mean? Like we saw Chihiro before Rakuzaichi kind of like swap with her, but they both weren't like serious.
I might catch some hate for this, but I feel like right now Hiyuki's kind of like in a Megami situation. You know,
Ooh, he said it. Potential.
just right now because it's like, oh, just wait till we see her full potential. It's just kind of like that thing. Like, nah, bro, full potential Hiyuki would slime Samura, and it's like, just wait till she summons it further than her
It's
torso.
always wait or she if she
Yeah.
like I say the same thing about Hakuri. You know, I got a video plan called the the Curious Case of Hakuri Sazanami, because it's
Sure.
always like when or if Hakuri gets to an enchanted blade, he will put in the storehouse. We're 120 chapters deep, 124 chapters deep, and I don't think my boy put one blade in the storehouse yet. You know what I mean? And I get it. There's like circumstances that mess with that, but it's crazy to me. Like I mean, now he should be in a position to steal back Subaru's blade, Pinky's blade, and who else? There's one more. Oh, they have Kumiyuri already. They already got 3 swords. And the Cloud Gouger's broke, but that's getting, messed with by Chihiro.
Hmm.
So technically, Hakuri's in a position where he should be able to put half the enchanted blades in the storehouse. I do agree, Slat. Black Flame Samura would win. That amp is crazy.
What's good, CJ? Appreciate
CJ.
you pulling up. Uh, so yeah, Ty, what do you want to talk about?
The Knicks are in the finals. That's cool. Nah. Um,
I'm a Spurs guy, so you don't want to.
oh, y'all. Now it's really about me. I don't even. I'm not even
Let's
that
not. Let's
big.
not.
I'm not even that big on this like specific Knicks team. I like the old school Knicks, but I root for the Knicks. So it's gonna be funny. Uh, has Hakuri let the core station vessel dude out of the storehouse? Homie's cooked. If Hakuri's brain starts malfunctioning from his usage in the Kabunabi HQ, because he would kind of spam that bitch a lot against Yuki Sada for a minute. And, because he had to store Kiri, teleport her in, teleport her out, summon the sword, then he used the ISO. So, like, if that dude's brain malfunctions and he has to, like, wait, that motherfucker's gonna be in there starving to death and, like, no drink just because Hakuri's brain's tripping.
Somebody did ask flavored beef. Do y'all think that Hiyuki older sister is that female Kamunabi head?
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Interesting, right?
I could see that.
Yeah, me neither.
Prominent clan, so she got like the
Hmm.
influence, the pedigree, and a prestigious clan that like has like notoriety. So I'm with that.
Yeah, I'd just be wondering why she doesn't have the earrings. But maybe that's just like it literally could be
She
anything.
has a
That's
glow up,
exactly.
bro. She has a glow up in her 20s.
That's the
All right, let's see. Serious question. Since y'all are NBA fans, who would the main bocce characters be in the NBA? All time or currently? It's funny. I actually had a video with Alon's where we spun a wheel for like anime characters, and whoever it landed on, we had to like pick. Oh no, I did that with domain. What's his name? CA Domain. Um, that's the
Yeah.
homie. But like we did that, and like say I got Grimjow, so I picked D Wade for Grimjow, for instance. But
Okay.
who would like you? Is there like an NBA player that you feeling for Chihiro?
Man, thing is, I kind of stopped watching the NBA for like the last couple of years. Um,
Yo, is Hakuri no, I was about to say he's SGA, but he ain't built like
oh hell the
that.
fuck no.
He ain't built like
Nah,
that.
he not.
The
He not.
flopper.
The flopper. Toji's Jimmy Buckets. That's funny. That's that black Air Force energy.
Yo,
I can see that.
is Akamura Kobe?
Is Akamura Kobe? I guess. I don't know.
Lillard for Chihiro. Yeah, I can see that. Lillard, that's my guy.
UM was wondering, is that a sister or a brother talking about Hiyuki's sibling? I think they're clearly androgynous, but if we're going by the earrings,
Um,
which I,
the clothing,
I,
I think it's a female.
yeah, I think it's a female as well. I think they're a female as well. Plus, the dad didn't have those earrings, so
Yo, Hakuri
I
is
don't know.
Josh
They
Hart.
seem to me. He's Josh Hart. Somehow that feels like a Curry slander.
It is.
No, somebody posed a pretty interesting question. D the man says, "Do you think we'll get an Aryu POV chapter, like a sympathetic POV, or any Mikaboshi Islander POV in this flashback arc?
Yeah.
What do you think?"
I like, I've brought up the possibility that Aryu could be a parallel to Chiaki, actually, like the prince and the princess on opposite sides, that whole thing. So I could see we get like a chapter of that, like when they're actually headed out to maybe go take her, and we see like his like thoughts, conflicting thoughts of like, this isn't what's best for our people. Da 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 da. We should be focusing on our own, safety and welfare. And we get a little bit of sympathy from him, and seeing like it's mostly the king that's like the corrupt one. So that's when they take her, and then we see like the Ukiori parallel. After that, when they argue about what's best for what this, that, or the other. And by the way, Slide also asked about the Mikaboshi Guardians, if there'll be characterization there or just NPCs. I just see them as obstacles for the blade wielders, aside from Ryu.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think we're gonna get too much characterization, or at least nothing too deep, really. I think more so it's gonna be them being set up as like, you know, incredible forces, for the, like you said, the sword bearers to overcome. I don't think we'll get any sort of legitimate characterization. With Aryu, though, I would be very interesting. I'm definitely here for like a Aryu POV chapter, 100%. I think that could do wonders for the arc. I mean, this arc is already peak, honestly. Um, but just kind of playing into the whole commentary about the horrors committed on both sides, and like you said, the Chiaki parallels with kind of the people within those clans with with certain expectations. What's it like from their perspective? I would love to see that with Aryu.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we get like kind of
Yoshinoja's Sean Camp is insane, by the way.
That's good though, right?
I think it's pretty decent.
Um, it's gonna be interesting if we see like the actual people of like the Mikaboshi, not the Guardians, not the King, just the normal people like we saw. Because if you really look back at the arc where we see Aryu kind of like drinking I forget what it's called, but that where they put all the poisonous bugs in one, and then like the last one's like the most poisonous, like that whole kind of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, the Dune chapter. Oh shit, hold on, what
yeah.
happened? The fuck? I don't know. Let me see if we're still alive. Something just happened. Yeah, I think we're good. But when they did that, like he's actually like touching a baby's face. I wouldn't let him touch my baby's face, but I also wouldn't be able to do shit because he'll pack me up. But like if you really like put a lot of emphasis on just that moment and you take away like the sting of what he's about to do, it does come off as him caring for his like people, and he's like going out to fight to protect them.
Yeah, yeah, and with the narration we get, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And plus, I want this one to be right. Let me be 4 for 51.
Armchair Anime says my only thing with the Mikaboshi POV is that hypothetically, is that if this flashback is being told to Chihiro, um, hypothetically by like Shiba, it wouldn't make too much sense for there to be a Mikaboshi POV.
But
I think Hokuzono's
we've
kind
already
of,
seen the Dune one though.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. And I think Hokuzono's kind of playing loose with it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if when we come back, it is kind of like Shiba was telling Chihiro about it, but not everything has to be like, not everything has been from the perspective of Shiba even, right? Like we saw Chiaki's perspective in the
Mm-hmm.
most recent chapter. We saw like
He's
you
up in the
said, the
attic.
Kagurabachi
That motherfucker's up in the attic, bro. That's what it is.
oh yeah,
He's in the
he's in the
walls.
walls. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. But like no, I think Hokuzono is just kind of playing loose with it. Like I think we'll get different perspectives, but ultimately it's still very likely that at the end it is kind of like Shiba or Subaru kind of narrating this whole thing, and the perspectives that aren't Shiba's is just kind of like just part of the story. I think Hokuzono's
Yeah.
kind of,
Uh,
that is, even if it's somebody telling this to Chihiro, it could, it very much could not be the case.
yeah.
um
It's Sheba talking to
yeah,
him, but the narrator's omnipotent, basically.
yeah, and like
Like,
Angry Demon Noises says, Mashiro's final thoughts as well. Yep, yep, yep.
yeah, we're basically this whole thing's about informing the reader, like of like the true weight of the war and how
Yeah,
how it's playing into like current dynamics and things. But it's also to inform Chihiro of like kind of filling in the gaps. I mean,
yeah,
Chihiro like that's why I think Subaru like he got mentioned so early. You know, I think the whole point of him is just to help Chihiro in the present time forge, just show him that extra step, or like help just like refresh the some of the forging abilities or skills, and or whatever it is. But I think after that he's cooked, and if Kaguri does wield that enchanted blade, he is one person that is gonna, I think he'll be crazy with it.
yeah, I agree. Tango says, how do you feel about people slowly transitioning to the Akamura Soga was right, and do you think it's going to get worse after the Soga clan massacre prior to the malediction? What do you think, Tiberius?
All right, so I think like with the whole Akamura thing, it's not that he's right, because the truth is like no matter what it is, when you just break it down to the like common denominator, there was a treaty signed and then the malediction happened, right? Now, I think a lot of the point from this going forward with Akamura is not about like saying he's right, but more so sympathizing why he felt that way, not agreeing with it, but saying like I can see what pushed him to do that, because he had, when if you have the power to do something and you don't act, it's a very different feeling. It's easy for us to say like, oh well, he shouldn't have did this, but he has the power to actually do something. So like if you have the power to do something and something's like bothering you, you feel wrong about it, he's gonna go do it. Was it wrong? 100% wrong. But I think it's just about kind of like us, the reader, at least understanding what pushed him to that.
Yeah,
And some people are
I
just memeing
wholeheartedly,
too. Some people just rage bait.
yeah, so it is going to get worse because I think people, Akamura's kind of become like this Aaron type character, um, which I can kind of see, but at the same time, it's not exactly the same. But either way, I think you hit it on the nail, Tiberius. I don't really have much to add in regards to that because I think you're on the money. Um, So yeah, I think it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away anytime soon. But at the same time, I think the focus has clearly been on seeing just how fucked up both sides are, because you can also understand why the Mikaboshi kind of did what they did. Obviously, not the Chiaki stuff. That's kind of like but
Yeah.
they're kind of like you know intention or oath to just kind of keep Seki for themselves.
And it's so funny to me because, like, people react. Like, people don't want to let things just cook and just, like, settle. People want to react in the moment, and that is one drawback to, like, the weekly engagement of, like, reading manga. Because you take everything for, like, you take everything as, like, matter of fact. Like, this is what it is. It's rock solid. Everything else is impossible. I've seen the fandom just like deny a bunch of things in the past because it just didn't seem that way at that moment. But now that we've gotten more things flushed out, there's a lot more possibilities. You know, like people felt bad for the Mikaboshi for a minute, and then what? A chapter or two later, people are like, "Oh no, the king gotta die. They wrong."
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So like,
exactly.
it's a flip flop. There's gonna be flip flopping when you're reading weekly manga. My
Yeah.
advice would be just don't even react to it. Like if I get comments that say that, I don't even like react no more. And
Yeah.
I don't hide it
Yeah.
either. Cause like it's gonna be there. It just is what it is. And you know, like at the end of the day too, it's just a manga. You know, they're not speaking on real world events or like people. So that's one thing I do think like, you know, some people do also have to remember that. Like just because we make such jokes about all kind of characters.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But
I do
yeah,
want to pivot
doesn't
a
mean I want to crack Ibiki in real life, maybe, but
come on now. Come on now. I do kind of want to pivot a bit and talk about the potential. I think somebody just put this in chat and I really like this. Oh, yeah, of course, angry demon noises. I think 90% of the fandom wants to see Akamura POV next chapter. Let's entertain that. Let's entertain 124 being an Akamura chapter from his perspective. What are you thinking?
I think we see an argument to be had with him and his mom, and
Okay.
once that happens, and he sees that his mom is basically indoctrinated, his mom is basically just you know, just does whatever the clan's gonna tell her, you know. But Akamura's not like that. And I do think that's where he's going to kind of see the realization of like that they just don't matter. And then we'll see. I do think him and you know, I don't think he's going to click out then, but you're going to start to see the veil slip a bit. Then he's going to talk to Chiaki and just see how much they've kind of like beat Chiaki down and like removed her sense of self from, you know, and all that. And I do think maybe he is the one that makes it happen for her to see Kunishige.
Mm, yeah, I was thinking of something similar in regards to like the next chapter, 124, ending with Akamura and Kunishige meeting after like what, over 2 years. I think that would be very cool. Like they
Because
both got this like
he,
demon look on their face.
yeah, think about it. He asked Chiaki, for once, tell me what do you want to do? I don't think about prophecies. Don't think about it. What is it that you want to do? And she says, I want to see Kunishige. And he's like, done. Let's go see that homeless man.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want to see like a conversation between Akamura and Chiaki just yet. I would like to like if it's gonna be an Akamura POV chapter, I would love it like to just be all Akamura. Just like all Akamura and his thoughts and his interactions with the Soga clan.
I think
Obviously like Chiaki is very important in this whole thing, but after the last that we saw them interact, or like the only time that we've really seen him interact when he was sparring, I would kind of like to build towards that meeting between them and that conversation between them. So I would love to get just a whole chapter of Akamura like just introspection, just really thinking about like his place in the Soga clan if that's the type of stuff that they're willing to do. And how does he really feel about it? Obviously, like the mom isn't just willingly handing her over. Like we saw how she was, and even if it's just one panel, we saw her like pretty much broken, really. And it, we talked a lot about this with Polar, just how it really seems that she finally sees the gravity of her own actions and what she's done to her daughter, or not really what she did to her daughter, but just what she simply allowed to happen for the sake of status, essentially. So I would like to see like Akamura, you know, talk to their mom, and him seeing like how it's taken a toll on his mom as well, and just for us to like really get a deep dive on his thoughts, um and an exploration of the Soga clan itself. I think through the perspective of Akamura, it would be very cool to for us to get to know the Soga clan better if it's done from the perspective of Akamura, as he's kind of like juggling these emotions, right? About like again what we were talking about earlier about what's best for the clan and ultimately Japan, because the Soga clan is what keeps everything together, and what's best for his sister. So I think it would be great to see a whole character that I mean a whole chapter that just dives into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would like feed the streets for sure. You know,
Yeah.
and Akamura has no like influence right now. You know, he's just the little brother of Princess Soga. He's not in the main lineage, the main branch of the family. He isn't the Sword Saint yet. You know, so like it's not like he can make changes just by like saying like speaking. It's gonna have to be like for him to start making change. It's gonna be by action, and the only way I can see him gaining that kind of leverage is through Kunishige. You know, them developing their bond, and once things start to roll, you know, he becomes Kunishige's right hand man for a reason. And you know, there's a lot of like I don't know. I'm wishy washy on Nakamura on like how much characterization we're gonna get. I do want a whole. I would love a whole chapter like you were talking about. You know, like yeah, they get to the point where they build
Yeah.
statues of the man, and like I mean that's gonna backfire on
Crazy,
them.
because he's just a branch family member too.
Yeah, I mean
You
they're
know.
just using him to like cover up what really happened. They're just saying, oh no, he's the
Yeah,
hero
yeah,
who stopped the war, and it's so crazy at like propaganda. You know, like now he's back out, and they're like, oh yeah, that's the dude we have a statue of. We gonna ride for him. Yeah, they do remind me of the
yeah,
Hyuga clan, and I don't know. It's gonna
yeah.
be,
Armchair enemies.
it's just one of those things that when does like Akamura start gaining these, the Sword Saint? When does he become the Sword Saint? When does like
Yeah,
there's so much in the air. Like I'm interested to see. I think, and I do believe this that Soga Akamura Soga is the most delicate character in terms of like how Hokuzono has to handle him, because he's so
a thousand
important.
percent.
He's so important to like present time, the whole narrative from start to end of Kagurabachi. Like he's so important, and like his character is like so like he has that immense power. So like he's a very like fragile character arc that you need to handle, and Hokuzono has not given us any reason to not trust him. You know what I mean? We'll let him cook for sure, but I'm just saying like he is the one that you got to handle with care. That's so do we get a lot of his writing now, or does he save some for present time? And like because he wants to have we learn the rest of it through like him talking to Chihiro in the final fight. He's like, I didn't want to da 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 da, or I felt this way da 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 da.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Like, would Hokuzono rather just kind of hold off on that sort of writing, for like the final clash against Chihiro? I think that's a very, very good point.
Save something for
I think
present time, because then it'll feel stale if we just get no like introspection, we get no like characterization in present time, and he'll feel like Muzan from Demon Slayer, where he's just an obstacle. That's it. Like the final boss has no more substance to him. Not saying that could still be handled okay, but I
Yeah,
personally
I think so.
I want something present
Because
time. And I
I
like you
think
were talking about. I just want to say this last thing. My bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
I could see him having a teen ghetto type of chapter, like after Toji whooped his ass.
That's a very that's a very good way to put it because that's what I was thinking. Like I can see like Hokuzono doing a lot of what's the word? Ah, anyways, I can see Hokuzono like fleshing him out pre malediction in a way where like again we kind of sympathize, which I know kind of like are a lot of people
Yeah, you're
already
scared to
doing.
say that word with him.
Yeah, but I like I could see like Hokuzono like writing him in a way where it kind of gets people to really understand where he's coming from, and obviously we see what he does during the malediction, which kind of like tests his or tests like I think how the people really feel about him, and then in present day I can just see like the writing having been handled in a way where like the bulk of it was tackled during the Seitei War, and by the time that we meet him, facing against Chihiro, we know what he's about, and we have like the just the most of the picture already painted. It's just about like how those ideals and experiences clash against Chihiro's. Like I think that can still work without necessarily having to like you know, go to a flashback of his in the middle of the Chihiro fight or flesh his character. Then, you know, like I could see Hokuzono tackling the bulk of his writing in the Seitei War arc. You know, adding some to it with the malediction about how he obviously has gone too far. And then in present day, we get the full picture of what made the Akamura Soga that we see, right? That we've come to know. Um, So yeah, I'm not too worried if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say about Hokuzono. Like, I think Kiora was like such an important piece to the story in the sense of like not for narrative sake, but for like as an author to introduce a character like Kiora. I think he's a hard villain to like land because technically like he doesn't have ISO. Like he's not like crazy strong in terms of like fighting against the Enchanted Blade or whatever, right? But like his usage of the storehouse and like how he was able to like get Chihiro in the well Hakuri brought him in, but like just their fight inside the storehouse. Like I think that really made me kind of like trust Hokuzono, and then Hirohiko gets introduced. And I think Hirohiko's character is one of the most unique villains in Shonen.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I just like I trust Hokuzono to handle like whoever or whatever he's gonna do in terms of like character writing. He's earned that.
yeah, 1,000%, 1,000%. That's why, like, I think regardless how he decides to go about tackling Akamura's character arc, I so far like he's given me no reason to really fear for that because I think the Mikaboshi were kind of like in a similar boat in terms of how were they gonna be framed, considering all the kind of like again commentary and controversy surrounding them, right? And like the politics of war and like that whole thing. And Hokuzono wasn't afraid of just straight up painting them as the villains, right? Or just like not the villains, because again, we've talked about how like everybody is at fault here, but just kind of like not being shy to just have them be the aggressors and like standing on business too, like the kind of aggressors they are, you know. Hokuzono wasn't afraid at all to tackle the Mikaboshi in that way. After all the propaganda, them being illustrated as monsters in the ukiyo-e paintings, they go out and do what they do in Onirishima, and then we find out that they're demanding Chiaki so the king can have her bear his child. Like, Okazono has not been afraid of painting the Mikaboshi in that light. But at the same time, there's like a duality to it, right? Because we also understand that the common folk on the island, they're not to blame. right? So there is some nuance there, and the same thing with Akamura. Obviously with Akamura it's just one guy, and the Soga clan. Obviously, we see that they have, an agenda as well. But how does like everything? How is everything kind of like dragged into that, right? Like, how about the
Yeah.
rest of the Soga clan? Chiaki.
Yeah, this is
Even a guy
war.
like
It affects more than just, one person or like, what I mean? There's so much affected by like the decisions of like one man or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And like even Akamura himself, right? Like how much of he as a character is molded by again the Soga clan itself, and the actions of the Mikaboshis, and his experiences in war. You know,
Hmm.
I think there's also something very compelling there, and Hokuzono's done a great job, kind of like balancing everything and showing us that there are no good guys.
And yeah, I think that's like the blight, or like that's just the human condition,
Hmm.
we experience these emotions, and I think in war both sides, feel vindicated. There's reasons for them to go to war. They believe in their reasons. They're putting their life on the line. But like no one, that's the point though. That's why like no one's technically right in the war, in like a normal
Yeah,
setting war. And
yeah,
like it's a hard thing to juggle, but it is like interesting how Hokuzono has chosen to like reveal the Mikaboshi, and just like how he revealed them. Then he gave them like sympathetic writing in a sense. What's up, Amity?
yeah,
And then he throws the king out there. But then now we're like, oh, the Mikaboshi gotta go. But then we see how like Japan wants to handle it, and like we disagree with that. Like it's just so crazy that I can appreciate what he did, because remember me, I can only speak for myself here. But like once this war got started, and seeing how Hokuzono was kind of like framing it, I was like kind of like a little worried, low key, because like I mean, let's just be real. The Kagurabachi fandom, you know, it's volatile. They're very
yeah,
volatile, and that's just the truth. And like, if you feel a certain way about that statement, you just got chipped by throwaway, because like that means you're part of it. Like, it's just a manga. We should be enjoying it, and I love the community. Y'all got. I know I fuck with y'all, or y'all know I fuck with y'all, and the but I was worried about the content of the war and how he was handling at first. But I think he's been doing a good job, introducing arguments on both sides. And, some people just can't, some people just take everything as a matter of fact right in the moment. And they don't want to see the possibility of like there being more nuance to it. That's the problem with this fandom.
yeah. Well, there's always, what can I say,
All
right?
right, well, now we're going to talk
Fandoms.
about Dice because he didn't agree with me. All right, here's the problem with Dice. I'm just,
I don't disagree. I just think,
no, I'm
annoying
playing.
people in fandoms is
Oh,
nothing new, and
Bachi's just got
they're
like, the more popular a fandom is, the louder the bigger their loud minority fan is. Like
yeah, it's
that's why One Piece, they're so big and popular. It's such a huge fandom that the loud minority group is bigger than a lot of other series majority. And then there's
yeah.
Dice LARPing somehow. He's like the Zorro of anime watching. He just appears certain places and gets in conversations about anime he's never watched. He's like, yeah,
That's pretty
Ukiora
fair.
was dope.
Oh, that's funny.
And D, the man,
That's
you
funny.
might be cooking. I've talked to him about that.
Zaz eating a
He really
chicken.
had
Oh
his
my god.
birthday cake and ate it too.
Oh man.
Yeah, no
Oh
leaks. We
man.
don't fuck with leaks.
Yeah, exactly. No, no.
But
No
look,
leak talk.
and me and Dice, we've we've made this channel, and we want to cultivate an actual community around us that we fuck with, and so far we did a good job on that. I'll pat myself and him on the back. I'll give him back shots later for it. But
Jesus.
uh that's your birthday present, la daddy. But no, like everyone that pulls up to like we got Mikey in here, Amity, Angry Demon Noises, of course, like Don. He's always commenting, "What
Yeah.
murder?" Mars in here. D,
UNB the man.
yeah, D the man's always
Yep.
slandering one of us somehow. Sully, and of course, oh, here's CJ. My bad, CJ. You right. I'm doing them dirty. But like, we appreciate everyone.
Appreciate it, CJ.
Sony, like, there's so many of y'all that like, are regular. We consider regulars and like homies or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, I don't need to talk about what's been going on in my life on stream. But if you might have seen a tweet or you might have be in the Discord. I've been kind of going through it this past week, but content has been a good distraction and helpful, so I appreciate y'all. We're getting ready to close up stream here, but Dice, wait, oh man, you know what, you want me to sing happy birthday to you on auto-tune?
No, I don't. I appreciate the gesture though. Oh.
Swing back, Dice. Lucas, yeah, Lucas, another one.
Yeah, that's what Lucas said.
What murder? I love seeing those comments.
Asking, did he finally reach 40? 43, actually. I'm just messing. Yeah, Don, of course. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I guess before we get out of here, any last predictions for 124? I know, these streams have become more YAP sessions than chapter predictions, but, chat seems to be enjoying it. We get a good discussions out of it. We do, of course, cover, some chapter predictions. So let's close today's stream out with that. Do you have any last chapter or any last predictions for 124?
No, I think it's going to be a slow chapter, in terms of like, the story beats, just like I kind of said earlier, conversation with Akamura. We'll see Chihiro's conversation with Chiaki, and then I do think we'll see Akamura's reaction to like the news. I'm wondering, I still wonder if like it might end with Chiaki and Akamura having a talk. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. Okay. I guess I should say closes with Akamura and Chiaki finally talk.
Okay, D the man says 43 is still eating.
Ooh, that boy's a seasoned veteran at cleaning his plate.
Appreciate you, Steven. Amity says, can we throw a birthday party at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza for Dice?
we will have that watch party in the Discord soon sometime. We'll decide on an anime movie to watch, and we'll call that Dice's birthday celebration. I'll get him a cake and I'll get him a cake that's in the shape of cake, if you know what I mean.
Oh, stop. CG says, thank you for making a podcast that the bocce community can hear and express their love, Kagurabachi. Yeah. Hey, that means a lot, CJ. We love to hear that. That's what this is for. So that's awesome to hear.
I mean, shit. How long we've been doing this, Dice? It's been like a year and 3 months now.
Been over a year, yeah.
A year and 3 months. And we've only been going up, so it's a slow build, but we're not in no rush.
No, and it's been fun because there's been people like y'all showing up and showing love and support, and obviously y'all the ones making it happen. So we appreciate it. And Shots by Soli says, y'all, Weeb and Alonzi and Piku are my go-to. That's some great company. So I really appreciate that. That's some really good company. Shout out to those guys as well. They do some great bocce content. So
Akira's a good shout. Speaking of shout, before we end, I want to shout out, man. Mm-hmm. Did y'all see this? Hold on, I gotta go look it up real quick. Dice dropped a video.
Okay.
It was how to eat booty 101. Let me see, where's
okay, I'm taking the mic away from you. I guess just my last predictions for 124. I think we're either, I did like Angry Demon Noise's idea of an Akamura POV chapter. I'm totally sold on that, so I'm going to go with that. Or, I don't want to say, Kunishigi and Chiaki conversation. I think that's pretty safe. I think we might see like some sort of argument between them. I think Kunishigi is only going to be more driven to, take action after that conversation with Chiaki. So I'm just gonna say that we're seeing Akamura next chapter, whether that's like a whole chapter focused on his point of view, or him and Kunishige kind of meeting, right? I think that would be really cool as well. So those are my predictions for next chapter. Ready
Oh,
to be wrong as always.
wait, what the fuck? Oh, I'm tripping. All right.
Appreciate you, Junior.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Dice's video, and one, I want to call him a larper to the extremist, to the most
Oh
extreme level.
no,
My
what's
look,
going
he
on?
called this video the 1,000-year blood war of Kagurabachi. Bro ain't never seen Bleach. You know what's funny is I kind of recommended. I like he cooked that title basically, and I was like, that's it, bro. I was like bucking him up for it. I mean, shit, look, it turned out good, and it's a fire video. I mean, the thumbnail is gangster too, you know.
Yeah, the thumbnail's pretty gangster.
I think the thumbnail is like the best part, if you ask me, but I don't know.
It's up there.
Nah,
It's up
but
there.
go to video, go check that out. There's no limit to
The
the
goaded
LARP
larper.
of Doom, and you know Mio, Hase Frio.
Uh,
I've been putting out some bangers myself. Like I don't get dice views,
yeah.
but you know I got a couple bangers.
Oh, come on now.
But yeah.
Come on now, gang.
So if you're looking for content, check those out.
Yep.
Dice LARP accusations is crazy. No, he's a certified LARPist. That's my boy. I love him,
Thank
but
you, CJ. Thank
certified
you,
LARPist.
CJ.
We're gonna get out of here though. Y'all have a good
Much
night,
love.
a good week. We'll have a chapter, of course. And that'll do it. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate you, Zoni. Peace, guys.